Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thanks, everybody. I believe we have a quorum. Is that correct, Mrs. White? We have enough?
Yes.
All right. I like that. All right. Will you begin with the roll call, please?
Yes. Ms. Glover is absent. Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Hugo?
Here.
Ms. Hughes? Absent. Ms. Thomas?
Here.
Mr. Tillage?
Here.
Mr. Walker? Thank you.
Okay. We've had the meeting minutes from last meeting in August sent to us. Were there any changes or points of discussion? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes. Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I remember that time, kind of. All right, and then I think next on the agenda is a presentation discussion on the connection strategy.
Hi, my name is Scarlett Caprol. I am just substituting for Mr. Hayes. He's unable to be here today. I'd like to introduce the president of Broadband Telecom, Jeff Biku.
Thank you, Carla. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Let's make this a great year. So,
Progress.
huh?
Nothing but progress this year.
Nothing but progress. Yes, before we get started, I'm going to actually, we've been working very closely with economic development. A lot of tie-in between broadband and ECDEV, and we want to make sure we have a good working relationship this year, so we're planning it out. So I'm going to let Charlie kind of give you guys an overview of what we've been working on, so you can talk about it, and then we'll put that on the agenda. So Charlie's going to be at these meetings a little more often to kind of update you guys. So Charlie?
Sure, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity, Jeff. I've gotten to know Jeff over the years and his company in other endeavors that I held previous to coming to Portsmouth. But the Portsmouth Economic Development Plan, Vision 2030, incorporates everything that we're talking about here today. There's two principal directions. One is building in digital equity for our citizens, and also leveraging the infrastructure that's in place and developing now to retain companies here in the city, and also to invite new companies to come and leverage the opportunities that we have here in Portsmouth. Our strategy dovetails with the Southside Network Authority's aspirations, and along with the mega regional strategies that are in place between Hampton Roads and Richmond, which follows on to what the state is trying to do in terms of building its IT profile, which is already very high up there in the industry. In fact, we're hopeful to meet with the new incoming Secretary of Commerce and Trade soon, after Governor-elect Spanberger is sworn in this Saturday. So we'll be off to a running start in building Portsmouth's profile in the IT world, and beginning to make a difference. Again, the bottom line is delivering services to our citizens and opening up access for everybody.
Thank you, Charlie. So, last year at our last meeting, we were talking about the connection of 10 anchor institutions to the fiber optic NGN. We had applied for SEID grant to actually accommodate a lot of the costs of those 10 facilities. We were waiting for the grant itself. We did not get the grant. We did not score enough points because of Portsmouth being where it is. So we did not get those 10 facilities up, but our strategy this year is to look at getting the designs done, getting those 10 facilities connected, and hopefully by the next budget cycle we can put more facilities in to get more facilities connected. There's probably, Tyler, how much facilities are we talking about for the? So it's 119, so we got to phase that out over the next few years to get the NGN connected. Broadband equity, access, and deployment, the BEAD funding. So we all know the BEAD has actually been closed off. It's been awarded. And we have the company that's actually working with the SNA that won the bid to deploy BEAD throughout Hampton Roads. I'm going to introduce them, and they're going to give a presentation to talk about what their strategy is for getting Portsmouth connected. So, Noel, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you so much. Okay. Just here next. Good afternoon. My name is Noel Mitchell. I'm with GTS/Spark Networks. We are the private member of the private-public partnership with the Southside Network Authority. My goal here with this presentation, this is kind of an eye chart, there's a lot of information in here, but I did that so that you guys can kind of have a takeaway with you if you're ever speaking in circles or need to inform anyone about what our role is, what the SNA's role is, and how it all kind of fits together. This is all covered in this presentation. I'm not going to read it line for line and put you all to sleep. That's not what I'm trying to do at 4 o'clock. But I am trying to go through it and just let you know how we fall into the whole connectivity, what's our piece here with Portsmouth SNA in the Hampton Roads region. So really, just up front, with the private-public partnership we have with the SNA, we're really fulfilling a lot of the duties the SNA was looking for. Obviously creating the 119-mile fiber optic ring that runs throughout the 5 Southside cities. They needed someone to operate that ring. And so when we filled out our proposal to do that for them, they looked at some of our pedigree and decided us as to be the winner, to be that third party to do that for them. So I'm going to kind of go over what we do, what our background is, why that kind of came to be, and how that kind of follows into meeting some of their charter and hopefully some of you all as well. So Global Technical Systems, you could think of this as the parent company. We have a large background in defense contracting. We support a lot of the large Navy contracts, go figure with this area. Some of our largest contracts has to deal with networking, processing, compute powers. A lot of the combat systems, networking systems we've done, bases, network architecture. A lot of that expertise is done on the defense contracting side of our business. Spark Networks is the ISP arm that we've spun up to fulfill a lot of the duties that SNA has that we've won through this proposal. So with Spark, you're going to see a lot of expertise pulling from GTS, a lot of the security. GTS is a NSA trusted integrator, so a lot of secure communication networks is developed by GTS. So a lot of that expertise we're pulling from on the Spark side. We hope to secure the RCR and any additional last mile build out that comes out from that, and hope to extend that to any member cities that want that service as well. There'll be a NOC SOC at our new headquarters off of Lynn Haven to do a lot of that function. So if any of that is appealing, we'd love to talk to you further about that. SNA, again, I'm not going to read this all to you, but the Southside Network Authority, of course, is overseeing that 119-mile fiber optic ring and that build out. I know that March is when Portsmouth's portion will be done, but I think in totality, June is the last update we've had for the completion of the whole 119-mile fiber optic ring. And at that time, we will start ensuring that the last build out of last mile will begin. You can see a lot of their charter there to provide last mile connectivity, close the digital divide, build and operate. A lot of that is going to fall on their private partner, GTS Spark, to fulfill a lot of that. And I'm open for any questions at any time. I don't want you guys to have to wait till the end. Here's just a quick overhead view of the 119-mile fiber optic ring. I'm sure some of you have seen this plenty of times. And then just there, the Portsmouth network inlaid right there. So just to give you a sense of scale of the two. Definitely a lot of surface area to cover and a lot of connectivity that can happen throughout the Hampton Roads region. Great for a lot of things, especially economic development that will be coming out of this. So last mile service provider, we will be building with our contract construction partner last mile services throughout areas that need it. We hope to work with a lot of the cities, the member cities, to find out where those areas are. We have some clue because we do the BEAD for this area, where some of those areas are. I'm sure if you speak to anyone that had to deal with the Broadband Equity Access and Development Plan, not all of the areas that needed connectivity got funding to get that connectivity. So we're still looking for areas that need service that we would like to build out to. One of our charters as well is to build out to areas that need service. Or if they have service, build competition service in there for them. Give them some choices about what kind of internet service they can purchase. Here are some of the services Spark provides. Lots of things here, transport and backhaul if you need diverse paths to data centers or anything like that. We'll be providing those. High-speed connectivity, of course, we have DIA circuits and all kinds of other internet options to provide businesses and residential. Managed services, like I was saying before, network monitoring services, co-location data center services. Also, things from television to telephone services. If you need VoIP phone service or systems, we also provide those as well. So I'm not here to tell you what you guys do, but in terms of supporting what you all need, we want to be here for that. So we'd love to be in the conversation. You guys come up with a problem, trying to meet one of your goals. We'd love to talk with you about it. Even if we can't solve it for you, we'd love to have a discussion, figure out how we can support you in accomplishing anything that you guys lay out here. Again, some more services on the left here. We really want you guys to think, big picture with us. Of course we do last mile, but there's other services that we can provide, even as much as like IT augmentation. If you find your staff or services are not enough to finish the job you need, those are other services we can provide. Consulting and expertise of that matter we can also help with. There are lots of digital equity initiatives too as well. I don't want to miss touching on some of that. If you guys come up with programs or speaking with the schools, if there's programs that they are running that they need help with, we'd love to have those conversations as well, bringing connectivity where it's needed, affordable connectivity. We have there like community Wi-Fi zones, areas where people go to that they might want Wi-Fi access, different parks or areas of that sort. We'd love having those conversations as well. Here's something that we talked about early on, I want to say last year. We did have a meeting with PRHA about the different developments in there and how that can be helped supported by Spark in this new rollout. So there's the plans there that our Director of Sales and his team put together kind of to compete with the loss of ACP when that funding fell through. It's no longer supported. These would act very similarly with people and households that fall in these different programs being accepted to these more affordable internet service plans to help kind of replace what is no longer there in terms of federal funding for internet. Some of the ideas behind these is to reduce the barrier to get some of these internet services. A lot of these services usually come with credit checks and lots of applications, and we want to kind of reduce that as much as possible to give people the connectivity that they're going to need. So we were talking about BEAD earlier. Just to give you an update there on the BEAD process, I'm in constant communication with the Department of Housing and Community Development that's running BEAD for the state. This is a timeline here that ending in November when it was finally approved, the final proposal for all the BEAD applicants. That's when we received our final BEAD approval. We went through numerous rounds of BEAD to get our approval. And starting, our last conversation with the HCD, starting around June is when they're hoping that all of the environmental and historic assessments are completed by the local PDC. We have been assigned a PDC to do that work. We should hopefully hear from them around that time frame in which we can start beginning our build out to all the BEAD locations. I just want to give you a quick view of the 2 areas that were awarded to us through BEAD and the grant funding. Through all the rounds of funding, you'll see that a lot of points fell off the map for various reasons. They weren't considered serviceable, or they were CIAs that weren't supported by the grant anymore. These are the 2 locations where we do have BEAD locations in Portsmouth to build out to. And one of the things I commonly tell, cities about their BEAD locations is that, while we might have funding for one location in that area, oftentimes that neighborhood or, that area doesn't have the connectivity as well. So while we're there, we'll build out to that location, but any in the supporting area that needs connectivity or wants additional service, it will be there to give them that connectivity. So I was kind of touching on this before. I don't want you to just think of us as doing infrastructure and last mile projects. Really, there's a number of ways I feel like we can help Portsmouth and the authority with different, initiatives that you all have, especially when it comes to economic development plans, building out to areas that need it, finding schools or programs that help you want to help assist. We could really be, that partner for you all. So anything you come up with and you want, to talk about or think to see how we can possibly help, I think it'll be a beneficial conversation to have. We would love to have regular meetings, or if you want to call on us to come present something, we'd love to come back here and just give you an update about how we're doing, or where construction status is, or what else can be built off from what we're providing. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I really appreciate your time here and letting us speak. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Or more information. Like I said, there's a ton of information in here. It's great for a takeaway or to give to other members to catch them up on the process and what's going on.
Any questions?
Could you go back to the slide that showed the BEAD regions? Yeah, that one. Okay, so it's been quite a long time since we met, and this is the first time I think I've heard that we now have identified or had okayed those 2 areas in green as BEAD regions. So you say the next step doesn't happen until June?
So there were areas identified federally as being approved to receive grant funding through the multiple rounds. This was left in what we were awarded in these 2 regions. It will take several months, they're guessing, for our plans and our build-out plans to go through the environmental and the historic analysis from the local PDC to get approved before we can begin construction.
Okay, so I assume that not. So I'm looking at the Craney Island, the great big green region at the top, the Craney Island region, Churchland. I assume that there are neighborhoods in that region that already have access, everything they need, and other neighborhoods that apparently someone at the federal level has determined needs to be built access into. Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
And so is it you guys that know which neighborhoods we're going to have to build into, or is that not even known yet?
It is. The exact points we know, we have. It's public information. We have them, the points that we're going to have to build to. We've had to produce those plans in our plan to build there to the PDC for them to approve.
Okay, and the BEAD grants that they've been approved now?
They've been approved.
Okay, so the BEAD grants for, I guess, one for each of these 2 regions, or one for Portsmouth, or how did that work?
So we applied for because we were the private partner of SNA, we applied and got support from all the Hampton Roads cities to apply. We were awarded, it was multiple rounds, so initially we applied for the zip code area, and then after that we applied specifically for individual points. So the way they broke it up first was you had to apply for a specific zip code area and all the points within them, give them a budget, how much you think it's going to cost and how much the grant subsidy would be. And then after that, once that was extinguished, the individual points, they tried to, figure out how much those points are and what internet service provider they would go to.
Okay, and so the grant funding that's been, so the big area I assume is 23703. I'm not sure what zip code the other one is, maybe 23704. Anyway, so 23703, the Churchland area, the grant funding, the BEAD funding is sufficient to build into all of the neighborhoods that need to be built into. Is that true or not true?
It's not true by design. It's a subsidy. So we are putting up most of the money to build into those neighborhoods. We get a small fraction back for doing it.
Oh, okay, so who pays the rest?
We do. We are paying to build into these areas, and we're receiving a subsidy for each one of the points that we get to.
From feds, from state, from city?
It's federal grant money that's dispersed statewide.
Okay, so kind of back to my last question then. So you have the funding through the grant that you need to build all those points in those two green areas?
We won't have it until...
No, but the budget will eventually, when the checks finally start, and the money starts flowing, you're supposed to have all the money you need to do all of those areas.
Correct.
Okay. So you all put the hardware in the ground to do the connectivity?
Yeah, we're responsible to get to that location, and because we can't force them to take service.
Sure.
Be able to provide in a reasonable time, which is defined as a normal operation window. So if you called Verizon and said, hey, I want internet, they have to get to you within like 10 days.
Yeah.
So you have to be close enough and have enough connectivity ready enough. Your network has to be up for them to ask for that service and provide service. So we can't force them to take service, but we have to be able to provide it in a reasonable amount of time.
And this is house by house in the neighborhood? I mean, if I live in a home that's been determined to be underserved and not serviced now, I call somebody and tell you I want service as part of this build out?
If it was one of the locations we are awarded, then you can get service in that time frame.
Okay, so I'm making this up, of course, but let's say I'm a 23703 neighbor and I don't have service. Who do I call to get it?
You would call us.
757-431-BILL.
Okay, how are we advertising that to our neighbors?
Their job. They
Yeah.
got the money.
Part of the grant is we have to announce that we have this, the build out, what the program is. All that announcement is an advertisement is part of the grant.
Okay, so I contact whatever that number was he just spoke to, and now sometime after June, somebody comes and they hook me up. Yes?
Right. I mean,
Run
we
service
would
to my
start
house.
construction in that June timeframe. Once it's all been approved, we can start construction, and we would make sure that the messaging aligns with when they can actually
Okay.
receive service.
And so when I sign up and you all come and run service, does that give me internet connectivity?
It will. Internet is what the grant is for.
Uh-huh.
So we said that we would provide a certain amount of connectivity after the build is done. So in that area, they can receive internet. There's a slew of other things they can also get if they wanted it. But internet is the main
And
service.
And so I just got hooked up now. Do I have to pay to have the service, or is the service provided for free?
You have to pay for the service, yeah. The connectivity and everything.
Okay, so you connect me, but then I buy the service.
Right.
Do I have to buy Spark Internet, or can I buy Verizon, Cox, or any other ISPs in the Portsmouth
Initially,
area?
it would be Spark Internet.
Okay,
You can buy from anybody that will service your area. You're not tied to them,
yeah.
right? But you have
Well,
to be able
presumably
to
I
have
haven't
somebody
bought-
that is. They're getting money to service the area.
Yeah,
If there are other service providers in the area, you can buy from anybody that's there. All right. But if you want internet, it's got to be somebody that's actually there.
I'm just trying to figure out the equity piece of this. So the reason that I don't have internet service now in 23703 at my house is presumably because I can't afford it.
No.
No?
No.
Why do I not have, what's the equity piece of this then?
Service provider didn't see a reason to build to your area. They didn't have a business model that worked for them.
Okay. And so that gets solved because,
They're going to give them some money
We're
to make
gonna-
that business model work.
yeah, whether the business model works or not, something's going to be available for them to connect to.
Right.
Okay. And the reason that so there are other zip codes in Portsmouth that are more poverty-stricken than those zip codes. They didn't get BEAD funding because
It's not
the
really
service is
based
already
on-
there.
It's not based on poverty.
Yeah.
It's based on what's served and underserved. Now, those two things can go together,
Yeah.
but that's not the driver. Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned digital equity initiatives. So that was on one of your slides. Yeah. So you're going to create those. We're going to create those. How does that? So what does that look like?
Yeah, well, so we would like to be involved as much as you would let us. If you're working on a program, we would like to be involved to help support that. And so that, I guess, that open communication about what programs are going on. If you have initiatives that you are looking at but need a piece to make it work, these are just some ideas. But if you're looking at any of these as the authority, we'd love to help you solve that puzzle.
Okay. And Easy Link and I can't read my writing.
Connect to Learn?
Connect to Learn.
Yeah.
So tell us more about those. I mean, Easy Link is available to households currently participating in any of those things. So if I'm a household that's getting SNAP benefits, what is how do I take advantage of Easy Link?
Sure. Hopefully you would, be informed about it through some service. Hopefully, I'm sure they'll have, flyers and whatnot, and so different social offices, social services, and all kinds of different areas to inform about these.
You're sure somebody's doing that?
No, I'm saying at the point where
Who think's doing that?
where we have the funding to do the advertisement and to do all these different programs to push them out,
Okay.
we'll be able to make those connections and get them in the right hands. So the people that need these services will know about them.
And is that BEAD funding or some other money?
BEAD funding helps us advertise for these services. So we'll be using a lot of that to inform the public about what's coming and the timeline associated with that.
Okay, so again, Plan 1 and Plan 2, Easy Link and Connect to Learn are ideas at this point until service is run, or if I'm currently receiving TANF or SNAP benefits, I can go someplace and ask for Connect to Learn or EasyLink.
These have been developed, they've been fleshed out for services that we'll offer when the service is up.
These are marketing campaigns for this company.
Okay.
These don't exist today. These are marketing campaigns.
So these are ideas
for this
today.
company, yes.
And they become real when,
When service is available, when you can purchase these, they will be available.
okay, so, but there are Snap homes today that have service.
But they don't have service to them. Remember, this is a company selling a service. This
Okay.
isn't the internet, everybody, because I get Snap, I can go everywhere and do this. No, this is a company providing a marketing campaign.
Okay.
Can't go to Burger King and order a Whopper, or McDonald's and order a Whopper. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I have other questions for Mr. Behu, but we'll save those till everybody's done talking to you.
Any other questions?
No, I think he answered a lot, asked a lot of them that I had.
A lot of questions.
That was good. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Is the intent, I have one, is the intent when you do build out into the areas that you had identified before, that the service being offered is at a below market rate, or is it comparable to?
It'll be competitive.
Okay.
It would definitely be competitive. There's options there, of course, for other payment strategies, but it'll be competitive.
Thank you.
I think options is the best thing. It'll make the whole market to be competitive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Could we get Mr. Behu back to the podium?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the brief.
Thanks, Tom.
You've answered a lot of questions and raised a whole bunch more. So,
Great presentation, thank you. So I just want to touch a little bit on the digital equity part of things. I think it's important that we all understand what digital equity is. Residential broadband, commercial broadband is internet services. Digital equity can be sensors, sea level rise, anything dealing with technology, IoT applications, public safety in the parks, or you want to do 5G backhaul, or you want to put cameras in the parks. All of the digital equity projects. So one of the objectives Cliff has is to identify programs that Portsmouth needs, and then we'll look at our partners at GPS to help us deploy it. Mr. Hughes, questions?
yeah, so back to the beginning of the conversation. So we have 119 city facilities that need to be connected, right? And
I don't know the number off the top of my
somebody in
head.
the back row said 119.
Okay.
So we were supposed to have the first 10 connected by the end of the year, according to the last broadband meeting that we had months ago. And so there was never any mention at a broadband meeting that the first 10 weren't going to get connected if we didn't get a grant. But you just got done saying we didn't get a grant, so we didn't get anything connected.
Correct.
Okay, so here we go again. So I have been asking for a plan for how we're going to get the city connected since the very first Broadband Authority meeting that I attended as a brand new city councilman back in however many years, 3 years ago. So the last plan we were provided really wasn't a plan. It was, we have 10 things that we're going to connect, and they're going to be connected by the end of the year. And so now they didn't get connected, so we're off that plan. Do we have a plan to get 119 things connected in 3 phases?
We are working on a plan.
Okay, but we've been working on a plan for 3 years that I've been on the Broadband Authority. And you'll recall, because I think you were in the meeting, I even asked for a plan to have a plan. Okay, so I'm tired of asking for a plan. I want a plan. And I don't understand what it takes to put on a piece of paper a PERT chart that outlines 119 things and your best guess for when we're going to get those 119 things connected.
So to go with the plan, right, we have to look at the cost associated with connecting these facilities together.
That's all part of the plan.
All part
Okay,
of
so he can't build a budget to do a plan if we don't have a plan. Okay, if 10 things were going to get connected and nobody in the world knew that they weren't going to get connected unless we got grant funding, except some small collection of you guys, because so y'all have been in the same meetings I've been in. Anybody here that we were not going to connect 10 things unless we want a grant? Okay, that has never been said until today. Now, so that means we didn't really have a good plan, even for the first 10 things, because the budget ain't going to cover it. Because, Mr. Carter, do we have 10 or any of this 119 in our current budget?
No.
Okay, so here's why we need a plan, because we got to do a budget, and we're rolling into budget season, and so the question is, what do we want to try to accomplish to get city buildings connected to each other in between this coming 1st of July of 2026 and the 30th of June in 2027? Now, inform the upcoming budget. Are we going to have enough information so that we can have this discussion with City Council to ensure that we've got in the budget the funding that we need to execute any of this? Because if not, then we're going to look at each other on the 1st of July and say, okay, now we're back to praying that money's going to fall from heaven out of grants or who knows what, and another year is going to come and go, and we're not going to have anything more done inside the city than we've got done right now. And the whole purpose of building out this doggone Portsmouth ring was to get off of the other guy's stuff, get onto our own stuff, and save money.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so if I think we're in violent agreement that we need a plan. Are we going to have a plan in time to inform the budget, at least for the upcoming budget season?
Cliff and I will be working on it.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
What hinders you? What's the thing that we need to get past? What is it?
So right now, we're in the middle of the actual fiber network design. Like, we're getting the maps from Danella and looking where the connections are, because not only are we connecting the buildings, we're also looking at what we need to do to connect the fiber to traffic safety boxes, make sure you can accommodate intelligent traffic safety.
That's a long answer, but it's not answering what I asked you. Now, answer what I asked you.
I will be working with Cliff on it. And that's actually a question for Cliff.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Tell you what, I got it.
Thank you.
So right now, it looks like we're scheduled for our next meeting for February 10th. What can we expect by February 10th?
More detailed information about how we're going to build this process out, how we're going to get off of the services that we're paying for and onto our own network.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. White, did we have anything else on the agenda?
No, sir, we have no closed session items. As you mentioned, our next meeting is on February 10th, and we have no speakers.
Okay. So if we can, and Mr. Carter, I don't know if this is addressed to you, but prior to that meeting, if we can send out whatever it is that whatever's going to be presented, so we have a chance to review.
Make sure you have opportunity to review it before the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir. Yeah.
If there's nothing else, I think we're adjourned.